Prior to me working at CHFS, I really had no idea what a Habitat for Humanity build involved. And really what I came to see was almost an unbelievable team building experience coming together before my eyes. These guys had been doing this build since 1993. I believe there were a few that went and did a Jimmy Carter build before we started doing the builds at CFL, which is now CHFS. And they decided they wanted to bring it back home and start doing them here. Francis was actually one of them that went on the Jimmy Carter build and was instrumental in getting the Habitat build started with Catholic Holy Family Society. He makes it so easy to come together as a group. So if you have someone who's never picked up a hammer or a power tool in their entire life, Francis will make sure that every single person at that Blitz build has a job and feels important in this whole process. And that's a gift, because not a lot of people can do that.
How this all happened is initially a Catholic Fraternal Life had they had a build in Tennessee. In fact, 49 fraternals went over there, and I really didn't go from this society right here. I went with a friend, but I think there might have been somebody from the council, from this council, may have been over there, but I went with a friend. He and I drove over, and we had our first experience. And our second experience was the build at Carroll, which was our remodel. And then it just continues down every year after that. And we have a lot of experiences, and a lot of the volunteers. You know, it's so much fun to be with each one of the volunteers as they develop into what their niche is. Each one likes to do certain things, so that's what we kind of work towards that. And usually when somebody comes and they haven't worked on any specific chore, I might ask them to, if they like to do that, and then yeah, they would. And then of course the following year they more or less jump to that project, and find some other fellows that like to do the same thing. So it's been fairly easy. Then back about 10 years ago, I guess, when Andy Hilsman came on, another one of the volunteers, he worked for us for years. He's a carpenter by trade, and he took over the floor, and that really saved me. I mean, I was doing a lot of things, handling each dimension on the floor, and everything that went on the floor. Now it's gotten a little bit easier each year. People that like to do certain things, that makes it really a lot more helpful, because some of them like to do husky things like roof and that type of thing. The other ones are set up to do finer things like setting windows, and so it's just a vast, different amount of things that can be done by different types of people. They're all great. They all mean great. In a lot of cases, we've built the walls at our shop. In other words, that's a work in progress. It takes a little while to lay out the plates. Different fellows like to come and put walls together on the wall table, and then load them on a trailer, and then that trailer is what we pull into the job. And we've done that on numerous occasions. That really works out great. In fact, this year they said they didn't have to alter one wall, so that was quite something. That everybody that was involved in putting it together, and whoever marked them, they did a great job, and all of them have a lot of guys. It's just they just look forward to it, and I have always too. My wife has, for sure. She says, do it again. So I keep trying to
Carson Hempen has been attending our builds for years, and he is just a huge supporter of our society. So he shows up every Columbus Day weekend with his tool belt, and for the last few years he's been bringing along his wife, Norma. She has been helping for about 3 years now, and they're just a lot of fun to have around, and we're glad to have them both.
My first experience with the Habitat program was through Catholic Fraternal Life. I joined in because my background is building. I haven't been able to do a lot of that in recent years, but this gave me an opportunity to do something I've always liked, to work with my hands. Those of us that have been more fortunate than others have a duty to give back, and this gave me a real opportunity to hopefully give back to the community. Although I do enjoy the physical activity, I enjoy the construction, I certainly am in awe of those that know how to do the building, and I've picked up a lot of building pointers. But what I've gotten out of it in the big picture is helping those less fortunate. I think the whole idea behind participation in a program like this really dates back to the roots of the organization. They started out as a group founded on helping each other, and this is just a contemporary version of that original thinking. And these kinds of things that we do have their foundation in organizations like Catholic Holy Family Society many, many years ago.
I started about 3 years ago. I went on my first build in St. Pete's in Missouri, and Carson was encouraging me to go because he enjoyed it so much when he went, and it's hard work, I know, but I was a little hesitant because I have no skills, but totally enjoyed the experience. The people are great, and it's amazing to watch so many people who work so hard and have so much fun at the same time. Some of the jobs I've done have been siding. I've nailed siding up, and I've shoveled dirt, and I've swept floors, and I've picked up the trash outside of the building. You can get involved because there are so many teachers there. The majority of the people there, I would say, are very skilled, and so they encourage you to try something, and of course they're there to guide you, and so then it makes you feel a little more important too.
Jim Richter is another one of our volunteers that has been invaluable. He is a carpenter by trade, and he knows the build like the back of his hand, and he's a true leader. Jim is very involved in the process from the beginning until the end. Jim is just, he's a great volunteer, and I would be lost without him.
I began on the very first build we had in Cairo and been on every one since. And I was asked by a few friends if I just wanted to take a trip down south, and we did it, and I just got, what do you say, ate up inside. I mean, over helping other people, and it just, even had, well, I had my sons come out, and they just enjoyed it, and I mean, it just gives you that good inner feeling. That's what keeps me coming to to the Habitat. And the camaraderie, you meet new friends every year, and you're always with the old friends, and one great big happy family. That's the way I would describe it. Just one big happy family. The build that really got to me was our second build, which was in Springfield, for a mother and her quadriplegic daughter, 5-year-old quadriplegic daughter. And I mean, that just works you so hard, you know. I mean, you really want to work hard to get, so other people can be a little fortunate, as fortunate as what you are, so, or as fortunate as what I am. We worked in the rain, sheltered ourselves with plastic so we would get that house done on time for the family. We met the family, they were out there, and she was in a wheelchair, and I mean, it just ate your heart out, just see a little girl like that. It really makes you want to go out and help other people is less fortunate. Everyone I've talked to, I think they enjoy it. They enjoy it, like I said a while ago, the camaraderie. You know, it's just, you're only a stranger once, you know, and it doesn't take long to catch on with the group of people we have. This is not the only group that I do Habitat help with. I've helped with the Highland chapter before, off on their own project, and with Centralia chapter. And I was asked about a month ago whether I wanted to go to Georgia on a 2-week Habitat build. So I enjoy them. I really do. Like I said, it's camaraderie. You get with friends, you know, and that's what this is about. Helping others. God's people helping God's people, put it that way.
Norm and Roseanne Horstman have also been coming for many years. Norm is our siding expert. So when it comes time to the siding, Norm is right there to organize and direct people on how the siding gets put on the house. Roseanne also comes along with him almost every build, and she also helps with the siding. Actually, she might be Norm's supervisor, I'm not real sure.
Started on Carol, the first one. Yep. Had to talk the wife into going. She didn't want to go first, but finally convinced her. I said, let's go give this a try. I said, I kind of think we might enjoy doing this. So, and I think she has found over the years she really does enjoy it too. So, and for 18 years we've been going. I was just a gopher starting out because I didn't know what I was doing. So I just started working, and amazingly, one of the first years I did help put some of the siding on, which was a new experience for me. And over the years, I seemed to keep working on the siding more and more, and the next thing, Francis came to me one day and said, how about I put you in charge of it? So I agreed to it, and so I don't know how many years now I have been somewhat the person in charge of getting the siding done. And teaching the women has been a great experience. I don't think they always know what they can do with a hammer, but I think they're learning. It kind of shows that there's jobs out there that everybody can do. And everybody has some dormant talents that they don't know about. And I think we brought a few of those out.
Somewhere Norm heard that the organization was doing a Habitat build, and he decided that he would like to participate in it. So he came to me, and of course at that time I was still teaching, I was still working, and he said, you know, let's go down to Cairo and do this build. And I'm like, no, this is my first real holiday from school, and I just want to veg. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I just want to have the weekend off. And he kept encouraging me, you know, and oh, it'll be fun and you'll enjoy it and blah, 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 you know. So we ended up going and it was wonderful. And after that, it was never a discussion. It was just, when do we go? The first time I wielded a hammer, I hammered the windows into the outside of the house, and actually Carson encouraged me to do that. And I thought sure I was going to go through the window, but I did not. So I was very proud of myself that nothing was broken, including any nails. And so I started that way, and then I started picking up the siding along with Norm. I got up on the roof in Carbondale. It was me and Bob Wolf, and I was handing Bob the shingles. And as Bob was nailing them down, I was literally crawling across the roof because I was scared to death to stand up. The height of the roof just freaked me out. So they called us to dinner, and I said, I'm getting off the roof and I'm never getting back on, and that's what I did. I think for me the most important thing is the relationships that we build in the process of a build. We normally don't get to have too much of a relationship with the family itself, but the people we've met through it is now, you know, you look forward to going down to see those people again. The only time we ever see them is at Habitat. So it's great just to get back together. And in the evenings, we usually get together and, you know, tell stories and have a few drinks. And those are some of the best times, is when everybody's done and you're all exhausted, but you're cleaned up and you're a little bit refreshed, and you just sit there and talk about your day.
Helen Webbles is our cook. Helen makes it look so easy to serve 70 people a meal because she's accustomed to serving 2,500 meals at a time. And this year we had a little glitch because Helen ended up in the ER the day before the build, and we didn't know what we were going to do, but Helen had a lot of her stuff prepared, and so we just sent somebody over to the house to pick it up, and everything went off without a hitch because that's how organized she is.
Diane, the other coordinator, Diane Sharp-Keys, she says, why don't you come down and do the cooking because you've been in catering and you're now retired? So I said, okay, I'll do that. And I have. I enjoy cooking, so that's why I keep coming back. I can cook all I want for and they'll eat anything. Depending what we decide to make, I made turkey this last time. I bake the turkeys, slice them, and then I put them in my freezer. And the broth goes in the freezer for the gravy. And everything is prepared for every meal at my house. They have to eat, so some of them are still working while others are eating. They want to finish what they're doing, and then, you know, it's something. Then the evening meal, they eat all at the same time, but the lunch, they kind of come in a few here and a few there. Usually the same bunch of ladies come and help. We have about 5, 6 ladies. They come and help me cook it and help prep and do the dishes and everything else. So it's you know, everybody has their work they do. Every year ladies come back and younger ladies come in, and they come in there and said they want to learn how to cook. That's why they're coming. So it's just like the young carpenters. We've cooked with generators already. And when we were up at Joliet, we had long cords that went across the street. And we've had rain. Oh man, we've had rain. We've had heat. At Mount Vernon, it was 105 in October. But we mastered it. Oh, I think we've all become very good friends through working together, and every time you see someone that you worked with, they'll always stop and have a little conversation going. You really feel good about yourself being able to help somebody else who doesn't have the money right at the present time, no housing at the present time because of the economy right now, but they make you feel good.
Dan Hazelhorst came to us many years ago. Dan is also a carpenter by trade, but a car accident left him unable to work at his job. And so Dan decided to volunteer, and he's been coming to Habitat for Humanity Build for years.
I work construction. I was a carpenter. And the fall of the year, everything is trying to get done before the weather gets in, and it seemed like I never could. Yeah, it just didn't work out to get away. And well, then I had my accident. I got hit head on the highway, and through no fault of mine. And it took them 45 minutes to get me out of my truck because my cab was crushed in on me. And I ended up with broken leg and broken collarbone, and little bruises and scratches and crushed heel and all that good stuff. But, you know, it took me 3-4 years to get back on my feet. And I can do that. I'm back on my feet, I can take care of myself, and I can't hold a job, but I can help somebody. And that's the part. I mean, I'm available, you know, 24/7, you know, as far as to that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So there's no excuse, not for me. Yeah, the good Lord left me here for some reason. And what? I don't know. But maybe just to do this once a year. I don't know. I mean, you know, I do whatever I can. Can't do as much as I like to do or as much as I think I can do, but I still feel I can do something, and I do a lot. But stand in one spot and cut wood, you know, and they come with a piece and then they know a number, and I mean, there's nothing to have two guys stand there while I'm cutting the other one, but. And then when it gets to the siding and stuff and the gable ends, well then the angles and all that. And I've even made my own jig now that I can cut it and change it from one roof pitch to another, and which quite proud of that in a way, you know. I enjoy it. The camaraderie is great, you know, and to help somebody, you know, that's the big thing. I get a lot of reward out of just being able to help and do something and say, hey, yeah, I built that house, you know, and so that's where I really enjoy about the whole weekend. I don't know what I could say would be the best part of the weekend. I guess when we get down to the end, I mean, yeah, look what we accomplished, you know, that's the big thing, you know, I mean, it really gives you a little satisfaction that you did do something and you're helping some people.
I believe Nate Ribbing started around the year 2000, and Nate's been with us every single year since. 10 years later, Nate has his own construction company, and he's got a lot of tools and supplies that we use. He's very enthusiastic, and he's got a great attitude, and he just wants to help.
Actually, Francis got me started on the first build back in 2000, and he saw where pretty much needed another carpenter for it and got me involved in it, and done it almost every year, well, every possible year since then. At the end of the project, you stand back after a weekend and you see a full house after there wasn't one there starting the first day. We build everything as a whole. When you do a blitz build on a weekend, it's the first day, floor joist is there, the flooring's down usually, and by that night, we usually have the roof on, or at least part of the way on. It's just an extreme amount, but with 60, 70 guys there, and the helpers are so wonderful. Even if it's somebody that doesn't know a whole lot about construction, that's still somebody who knows, grab a nail and grab a board and toss it up or something. So the help is just amazing, and it's something that's truly, you have to live it to experience it, to actually appreciate it. You know, we may not have everything in the world, but there's other people with less. Mm-hmm. And with being a carpenter, if I can provide, you know, just a shelter or something for one more family, the fulfillment when everything's finished is just extreme, that words can never never express. The fun, it's never a serious job site. It's always fun, it's always safe, and there's always a progress going on. But it's just, it's a hard feeling to explain more than anything. It's something that has to be lived. Francis tried to explain it to me on my first year, and I couldn't get it, but I was more than willing to go down. I think the first one that I was at was Marion, and he helped me through the day, get to know the people, and get to explain what things are done and the process they're done. And by the end of the day, I was more than willing to help the next day. So I stayed the entire weekend. Like I said, it's not something that you do quickly. It's something that you have to actually live, and you have to be there to see it.
The staff at CHFS are not required to attend our Habitat for Humanity build, but that does not mean that they still do not help. There are several that do attend the builds and have attended the builds, and there are several that do behind the scenes type things like bake cookies and brownies and cakes and send them for the volunteers to snack on for the whole weekend. This year we had several Belleville office staff attend, including Sandy Bouchard and her husband Tim, and we had 2 from the Joliet office, Linda Kerner and Mary Jane Rougeau, and they were all worker bees working on the house and helping with meals, and I just want everybody to know how much we appreciate what the staff does for Habitat for Humanity as well. This project takes many, many, many people to make it a success. And I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart that has come to every single build over all the years we've been doing this, because we cannot do this project without every single one of you. Thank you.